Well, hello everybody and welcome on board Silver Moon, the latest flagship from luxury cruise line Silversea. I'm Katie from Travel Weekly and Aspire, and I'm joined here by Peter Shanks, Silversea's Managing Director for the UK, Ireland, Middle East and Africa. Welcome Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
And welcome on board, and it's so exciting to be on a ship at last.
Absolutely, isn't it, Jess? We are here in the Panorama Lounge, one of the many bars and dining venues across the ship. It's a really beautiful ship. We just joined yesterday for the naming ceremony in Athens, which all went beautifully. So, Peter, one of the things that came across in last night's christening was just how passionate everyone is, how proud they are to see Silver Moon, much long awaited, finally come into service and have real paying passengers on board. Tell us a little bit about what that means to you and the rest of the team at Silversea.
Well, it's very emotional after 17, 18 months. And to me, the most emotional part was seeing our officers and our crew, because they're the ones who work the magic and have brought this brand new ship through a pandemic into operation. So it was very emotional for all of us at Silversea, and it was a very Silversea affair. We had our beautiful Italian singers, we had national anthems, a little bit of theatre, the bottle broke, which is always a bonus. Yeah. But I think being back together with guests and crew was pretty emotional, actually. It was a wonderful evening.
Absolutely, yeah, and that certainly came through. It was a really joyous occasion, I think. And tell us a little bit about what agents and their customers can experience on Silver Moon. It's a little bit different from some of your previous ships. You've got some new concepts on here. So just tell us a little bit about the experience on board.
Yeah, she's a sister to Silver Muse, second in the Muse class. But the big story about this ship is the SALT programme, the Sea and Land Taste programme, and we've been experiencing it a little bit so far. And we have the SALT Lab, where people can experiment with beautiful Greek cooking while we're here in Greece. We take people on SALT excursions, take them to where people produce and grow food, show them how it's grown, show them how it's cooked locally. And then we have our SALT Kitchen, one of the main restaurants on board, where people can really experience, wherever the ship is in the world, we bring that local cuisine to life. And it's going down really well.
Absolutely. In fact, I've just come from a cooking class in the SALT Lab. We were making Greek pastries because we are sailing in the Greek islands at the moment. So yeah, it's a really fantastic experience. Look forward to seeing a little bit more about that and what the excursions are like ashore. So obviously this is fantastic news. It's the 9th ship in the fleet. Brilliant to see it up in service now. Tell us a little bit more about the restart sailing across the rest of the fleet, because you've got Silver Origin in the Galapagos, you've got a few other ships that have already restarted or are going to restart. So where are we with that?
Yeah, so Silver Moon's here in Greece doing beautiful 10-night itineraries right through until the middle of September. The Silver Shadow is starting up in Iceland later this week with, again, 10-night itineraries around Iceland. And the Silver Muse is starting up today in Alaska, and we have Silver Origin already operating in Galapagos. So we're coming back to life quite slowly. We have 4 ships coming back out of 10 in the fleet. And yesterday's news with regards to us Brits being able to cruise internationally again, the timing's fantastic. I knew the minute I walked on the ship, Grant Shapps would change his mind, and he delivered. So
there we go. If we'd known that was all it was going to take, we could have done it.
Yes.
Oh no, that's fantastic. And speaking of that, what does that change in the government advice mean for Silversea and for the cruise sector as a whole? Obviously, it's a really welcome move. What's it going to mean in practice?
Well, it's a sign of confidence, really, and I can't tell you how much work has gone on between Clear, Chamber of Shipping, and all the cruise lines. With immense new protocols coming into operation. I mean, we at Royal Caribbean Group have 74 different new protocols in looking after the health and safety of our guests, and that's on top of the way in which we've always done it. So it's good to be back, but we're still cautious. We're going to be very safe as we come back, but I think it's confidence. We started as an industry with UK cruising, which has gone very well. 45 to 50,000 people have safely cruised around the UK in recent months. And now we're going back to international. So it's about time, but it's the right time. We said we'd go cautiously. It's not a race. And the most important thing is that we come back safely.
Absolutely. And tell us a little bit about how you're doing that, those return to service protocols. What do they actually mean in practice?
So I travelled yesterday for the first time. It was really interesting. I kept thinking I'd left something behind. Where's my passport? I was like a young child flying for the first time. But it was really impressive to see what happened when we arrived here, Katie, at the terminal. So everyone coming on board our ships has to be double vaccinated. All our crew are double vaccinated. And when we arrived, we were shown into a separate area, air conditioned, where we presented our correct forms. We then had an antigen test, took 15 minutes, done very well. That was all clear. We then moved through into the normal check-in, and it was a very, very impressive performance by everybody involved. And on board, we're wearing masks as we walk around, but not when we're sitting down, and everyone's taken to that very well. So we're being cautious, but everybody I've spoken to is feeling safe, because we are, after all, in a very safe environment.
Absolutely, yeah, and I have to say, it's a little bit of extra paperwork. I, like you, was making sure I ticked all the boxes, but once you're on board, it really doesn't impact the experience at all. It was very efficient, and then you get to sort of come and experience this fantastic new ship and come to some of the destinations that you're serving around Greece. Now, it's fantastic, obviously, to see the ship in action. When you appeared at the Clear Luxury and Expedition showcase back in April, you predicted that there would be a little bit of a sales bonanza, I think, in cruise, pent-up demand or other factors. So has that panned out? That was 3 months ago. Is that actually what you've seen, and what are things looking like for sort of the rest of 2021 and into 2022?
Yes, it's a brave man who used the word bonanza, but I have to tell you, demand for 22 is incredibly strong. So I can have said that with confidence. All the cruise lines, and certainly Silversea, are seeing a really strong pent-up demand for 2022 in particular. Now, we'll see some growth coming back now for 21 as we all recover, but 2022 is strong. I've always said there are 2 million Brits who cruise. 1 million are addicted, and they haven't been for a year and a half. So it's no surprise there's pent-up demand, but it's stronger than we thought. And for Silversea, the really impressive thing, and that's really due to the support of our travel agent partners, is that over half of our bookings for next year are from first-timers to Silversea. And we think that is people understanding how we bring destinations to life. But I think people are trading up now. They're seeing the benefits of ultra-luxury, the space you get on an ultra-luxury ship, and the all-inclusive value. So I think we're seeing a lot of people who are first-timers to Silversea, but not necessarily first-time to cruising. And with our growth plans, we need first-timers, we need loyalty, we need repeaters, we need all of that stuff. But we thought it would be the loyalists who came back first, but we're very pleasantly surprised to see first-timers as well.
That's really interesting. So you think people are sort of trading up from kind of the mid-sector of cruise lines up to this kind of ultra-luxury brand, spending a little bit more because they haven't had a holiday in such a long time?
I think so. I think space is really important to all of us. And we have very nice veranda suites on board this ship.
Yeah.
And there is space around. If you go to the pool deck on a sea day, there's never a problem getting somewhere to sit or somewhere to have lunch. So space is important, but all-inclusive. We've recently we do everything. We do the flights, the transfer, the pre-departure, the pre-cruise hotel. Everything on board is included, whether it's Wi-Fi or fine wines. We don't have tips, and we look after our staff. We don't have tips. And then we've just added the door-to-door service, where we have chauffeur-driven, pick you up at home, take you to the airport, and do the same coming back. So when you combine the destination and the way that we do the immersive destination, the value for money, and the all-inclusive nature of what we do, it's a really nice sell for our travel agent partners and great value for our guests.
Absolutely. I think when there is a little bit more paperwork to do and everything else, you just want it to be as easy as possible, don't you?
Yes.
So it probably works in that regard as well. Now, at last night's naming ceremony, the President and Chief Executive of Silversea, Roberto Martinelli, he said that there would be a revolutionary announcement coming up at the end of summer, and he said, we're doing things that have never been seen. Can you give us a little sneak peek of what's to come? I know you've got new ships and some other plans for next year, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so next up is, this November, we have Silver Dawn, the sister ship Silver Moon, and she'll have some interesting features which we'll be announcing very shortly. And then in 23 and 24, we have our two, what we're calling evolution ships. They will be the game changers in ultra-luxury and expedition cruising. We're not saying too much about it now. I've seen some of the plans. They are amazing, but I think it'll give our travel agent partners something to really talk about. It's the next generation of ultra-luxury cruising, with all kinds of exciting ideas that I can't tell you about just yet. But they'll definitely get noticed, and it's one of the great things about our industry is different cruise lines innovate and bring out new ships that are game changers, and it's Silversea's turn coming up shortly, and we're very excited about it.
Oh, it's a bit of a tease there, but it sounds very tantalising. We shall look out for further announcements coming up. But But certainly, if this ship is anything to go by, I'm sure there's some great stuff in store. And you talked about travel agents there, and I did just want to touch on that because you are expanding the fleet a lot. You have some really, really strong growth plans. How do travel agents factor into that, and what are you doing to go out there and engage with some new partners and really kind of help them understand what the new product looks like and what Silversea can offer to their customers?
Well, firstly, we're so pleased, and thank you so much for the support that all travel agents have shown Silversea over the past 18 months. I know just how hard you've been working, and we've been doing our utmost to support you, and we'll continue to do that. But thank you for what you've been doing so far. And we want our current partners to grow with us, and we also want to find new travel agents coming into our sector, particularly the luxury end of the market, Katie. So some of your Aspire members who really understand what real luxury customers need. We believe that's what Silversea offer. And when you pull all that together, the ease of selling us, and we are reassuringly expensive as well. So selling a Silversea product brings very nice, healthy earnings for our travel agent partners too. And customers, once they travel with us, they come back for more. So we have a wonderful sales team. We've worked really hard to come up with a lot more digital marketing tools for our travel agent partners. But we're open for business. We are going to grow substantially over the next 3 to 5 years with the backing of Royal Caribbean. We're lucky now to enjoy leadership in ultra-luxury and expedition, of course, which opens up a whole new avenue with Antarctica, Galapagos, the Arctic, and the far-flung corners of the world. So if you're a travel agent who really wants to grow, but grow where customers are looking to go next and to immerse themselves in destinations, then we would love to work with all travel agents. And we're up for the growth, and we're up for supporting everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And all those bucket list trips that we keep hearing people are desperate to book, having not travelled for a while, certainly this would be a good way to experience that. Well, thank you so much, Peter. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for hosting Travel Weekly and Aspire on board. It's been fantastic to see a little bit more of Silver Moon. Do keep an eye on Travel Weekly's Facebook, Instagram and Twitter channels, where I will be doing a little ship tour later on today and tomorrow and bringing you a few more highlights from Silver Moon. But for now, thank you very much to Peter. Thank you to you for watching, and we'll see you next time.